Right. Baumgartner.
Here. Did Mr. Wright contact anyone? And contact you or you? Okay. All right. Okay. Let's all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For corrections. If there are none, they will stand approved as presented. Approval of the current financial report. Once again, you received communications from the auditor's office on the current financial report. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Godwin, excuse me, to approve the current financial report from the auditor's office. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
Excuse me. Approval of the agenda. I have nothing to add or subtract other than the fact that we do have a need for an executive session to discuss two items under 121.22G1, which is personnel, matters of personnel, consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline and or compensation of a public employee or official. Excuse me. Other than that, that's all that I have.
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion by Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda as amended. Discussion. Call the roll.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
Do we have anybody on Zoom tonight or anything that I don't really see myself? The floor is now open for anyone wishing to address council at this time. And I don't see anyone rushing to the microphone. So we will proceed with the agenda and move on to administrative reports. Mayor Willman.
So a long weekend, really hadn't got anything together. I'm gonna pass.
Wow. Safety Service Director, Mr. Delk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple things for tonight. The first thing is the reminder of the splash pad dedications tomorrow night at 6 p.m. At South Park. And then the second thing is the car show is this Saturday, September 11th from 2 to 8 p.m. downtown. And with that, I will pass.
Regarding, just a personal note regarding September the 11th, there are many, many things going on that Saturday. I mean, everywhere, plus memorials and so forth. So, wow, it's going to be a busy weekend. Moving on, Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just a couple updates. I know we've been talking about for a long time dealing with some of the nuisance properties in the city. Just wanted to give council an update. We're continuing to move forward with that. We do have a hearing coming up at the end of September for a property located on East Main that a lot of people have been concerned about. We also have a default deadline. So we filed a lawsuit last month in August about a property on Short Street. If anybody's heard complaints about that. The issue with some of these things is they just take time to get resolved because once we file a lawsuit in the common pleas court, they have 30 days to answer that, to, contest what our allegations are. Then we got to get a hearing. So I know there's some frustration when people see those properties and are wondering if we're doing anything. Rest assured that we are moving forward and getting those things taken care of. And then last week, or I think it's been 2 weeks now, The city actually took possession or will be taking possession of a property on Martin Street that's been an eyesore for a long time. That went to sheriff's sale on a couple of occasions, didn't get any bidders, and the option was for the city to take it or for it to go to the state. And, part of our plan in rehabbing the city and dealing with these properties is to kind of take some ownership and make sure things get fixed right. And so we're going to take that property back, deal with some of the issues on the front end, and then get rid of it. We don't want to be in the business of owning properties, but we do want to have the control to make sure that it gets handled properly. So that's where we're at with that. And with that, I will pass.
Okay, thank you, sir. City Auditor, Mrs. Wilmer.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I will also pass for this evening.
Wow. Looking at committee reports, there are none, of course, tonight, but I did note, I'm going to note that we did receive a request from the Civil Service Director regarding a utility committee assignment. There is a situation regarding water and sewer rates for the Darke County Fairgrounds that he thinks need to be addressed. And so I'm going to assign that to the Utilities Committee, which would be Mr. Godwin is the chairman, Mr. Wright, and Mr. Baumgartner. And if you'll get with Mr. Delk, he has some suggestions, and could we perhaps accomplish that by the last meeting in October? You think that's possible, Mr. Godwin? I don't think it's going to be a lengthy, involved thing. Okay. All right, thank you. Moving on, we have 6 ordinances and resolutions to consider for this evening. The first is a resolution accepting the amounts and rates determined by the Budget Commission and authorize the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the city auditor.
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. This resolution accepts the amounts and rates for the tax budget for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2022, as established by the Darke County Budget Commission.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second, third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Move to adopt this resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion. Now, is this for upcoming levies renewals to be placed on the ballot, or what?
When we turned in our initial budget, townships and so forth, they turned in their budgets as well.
Put your mic down, please.
These are the county budget commission's findings from all of the initial budgets that we sent in. And also, if anybody was asking for any tax levies, that was also taken into consideration. And this is their final findings for the following year.
Okay,
So this is what we will receive.
all right.
what We have to pay.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion or questions? Okay, the motion is to adopt. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
Next, we have a supplemental appropriations ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021. This supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations in the general fund, park fund, neighborhood stabilization fund, and CIP fund in the sum as follows. CIP transfers elected auditor and treasurer in the amount of $25,000. These funds are needed for transfer to the CIP fund. Salaries, civil service commission in the amount of $2,000. These funds are needed to cover civil service salaries through December 31st, 2021. New equipment, fire, in the amount of $3,000. These funds are needed to purchase one set of structural firefighting gear for the unexpected hiring of a beginning firefighter. Refunds Park in the amount of $350. These funds are needed to cover a refund for a shelter house rental due to COVID-19. General Admin Neighborhood Stabilization Program in the amount of $4,670. These funds are needed for transfer to the county and represent loan repayment of a CHIP home improvement loan. Street New Equipment CIP in the amount of $25,000. These funds are needed for the purchase of an LED sign in front of the fire station and were provided by donations to the Fire Prevention and Education Program.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance second and third reading by title only.
Motion from Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
yes,
Godwin,
yes,
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Greenville, state of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion from Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Ely,
yes,
Godwin,
yes,
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes. Next, we have a transfer ordinance.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville. This transfer ordinance allows for transfers in the Information Technology IT Fund as follows. $7,000 from salaries IT to department head salaries IT. This transfer is needed to cover department head salaries through December 31st, 2021.
Move to suspend the rules, give this ordinance second and third reading by title only.
Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, read ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
yes,
Godwin,
yes,
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville. An ordinance for the transfer of funds among the appropriations of the various funds of the city of Greenville.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Ely,
yes,
Godwin,
yes,
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes. And next we have an ordinance accepting the following, wait a minute. Yeah, an ordinance accepting the following and following the federal uniform grant guidance for the city of Greenville.
An ordinance accepting and following the federal uniform grant guidance for the city of Greenville. This ordinance accepts and follows the federal uniform grant guidance for the city.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance a second and third reading by title only.
Motion from Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
yes,
Godwin,
yes,
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
An ordinance accepting and following the federal uniform grant guidance for the city of Greenville. An ordinance accepting and following the federal uniform grant guidance for the city of Greenville.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
From Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion.
What exactly is this?
Yeah, so to be able to receive federal grants, we had to have, it was actually an audit finding. We have to say that we accept and follow the federal grant guidance, which we always have and we always do, but because we didn't have a specific ordinance laying out that we follow the guidance, they said that we needed to pass an ordinance saying we do what we already do. So that's
Very
what
good.
this is.
Thank you.
It's called play the game.
There you go.
Further discussion or questions? So we have a motion to adopt, correct? Call the roll, please.
Ely,
yes,
Godwin,
yes,
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes. And next, we have an ordinance amending rules and regulations relating to water and sewer fees and utility billing.
An ordinance amending rules and regulations relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing. This ordinance amends the rules and regulations relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing.
make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second, and third time.
Motion, Mr. Godwin, to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers,
yes,
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
An ordinance amending rules and regulations relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing. An ordinance amending rules and regulations relating to water and sewer fees and utilities billing.
Motion to adopt?
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the ordinance. Discussion?
So in November, everybody ought to be. Bills will be.
Bring us up to date here.
Yes. So on November 1, due November 15th, you'll receive your new monthly updated bill. That's across the board. It'll be monthly with the 20% increase.
That goes in effect on November 1st too, right?
Right, but that's from that bill would be your September 1 to October 1.
That 20% will be
Bill.
on that bill.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you.
Okay. I know sometimes this gets a little confusing with the billing cycle and being a month behind and so on and so forth. So if you do have questions, we're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. It's just like, call and the utilities office and try to find out, because it's all legitimate, I assure you. And it's the ordinances that we passed relative to this change in the water billing cycle. So if it's confusing or you have questions, give us a call, please. Further discussion or questions? Motion to adopt, correct? Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
yes,
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
And finally, item 6, resolution authorizing transfer of funds to county for the CI CHIP program, CHIP.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of funds to the county for the CHIP program. This resolution authorizes the transfer of funds from the payoff of previous CHIP loans to the county.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules and read the resolution by title, second and third time. Discussion? Call the roll.
Ely, Godwin, Rogers,
yes,
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of funds to the county for the CHIP program. Resolution authorizing the transfer of funds to the county for the CHIP program.
Move to adopt. Is that Mr. Baumgartner?
Yes.
Motion by Mr. Baumgartner to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
yes,
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
Okay. Just a quick personal note, as chairman, we seem to, it probably appears to be that we fly through these things pretty quickly. But please note that all members of council are afforded the opportunity to read all of these pieces of legislation prior to this meeting and have it at their disposal, along with the summary and everything else. So it isn't that we pass it rather blindly, because we must read things 3 times. And so that kind of looks, maybe it looks a little odd that we have to do this all the time, and we do it, but want you to know that it's not done with not considering the pieces of legislation carefully. Okay, moving on. Under new business, we have 2 items. The Ohio Division of Liquor Control Application 2845, 284515 423 LLC, Broadway, Greenville, Ohio.
To City of Greenville Council from Chief Roberts. I have reviewed the Ohio Division of Liquor Control request for permit number 2847515 located at 423 South Broadway, and like the previous request, have no reason to object after completing a background check on the applicant. Sincerely, Chief Roberts.
I make a motion that we do not proceed with any type of.
Request a hearing.
Yes.
Okay. Motion been Mr. Baumgartner to not request a hearing on this application. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
And item,
One-
oh, excuse me.
Did that number jive up?
No, I think there was a misprint there somewhere.
What's that?
On the number.
For number one, the
application number.
application.
Four
number.
twenty-three.
I just think if it's needs change, we need to,
I think there's a 7 where the first 5 was.
is that what it was?
It needs to be a 7 between the 4 and the 5.
845. There's a 7 in there.
Between the 4 and the 5, yes.
Okay. 2847 515.
Okay.
Okay. And is that correct on the application?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, and then item 2 is the Ohio Division of Liquor Application 41 93 350 for Jack's Cabin LLC, 851 Martin Street, Greenville.
To City of Greenville Council from Chief Roberts, I have reviewed the Ohio Division of Liquor Control request for permit number 419350 for Jack's Cabin LLC located at 851 Martin Street and have no reason to object after completing a background check on the applicant. Sincerely, Chief Roberts.
What was that number again?
419
419350.
no 33.
3.
It's wrong in his letter.
Huh?
He forgot a 3 in his letter.
Forgot a 3 in his letter.
It's right on the permit.
So it's
That's
Eric's,
right on the permit.
it's Eric's fault.
It's correct on the permit.
Wow.
That's 1. We'll forgive that today.
And he's not here to scold him. either.
I'd like to go on record of not requesting a hearing.
He was choking on an almond when he typed it.
Recommendation by Mr. Rogers that we not request a hearing. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
Okay, we have no items under old business. Council representatives of the outside committees, we're asking anybody that or who's a representative on the Community Action Partnership Board. And that is
That is me.
Mrs.
I
Ely.
gave a report in May. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend their July meeting, but I can review briefly what I found out the last time. It's a community, it's part of the Miami Valley Community Action Partnership. And it serves Dark County, Preble County, Greene County, and Montgomery County. They offer a variety of services to lower income families in our area. They have such as heating, weatherization, home repairs. They offered limited legal, financial and legal situations. And they work to increase, educate how some of our lower income people can find services that they need, use the services that they need, and then grow to becoming more independent and taking a part in the community. With that, I close my report.
Okay, well, very good. Thank you. Send those on there. All right. Yeah, we, I'm going to paraphrase here just a little bit. There's a lot happening with all of this COVID stuff and everything going on. And a lot of agencies that people can access for various assistances. And as a matter of fact, there are so many of them that sometimes we just don't even think about them. So if you have some questions, about how can I get some assistance individually as a family or whatever, please try to contact someone and get some assistance because it can be done and the money is there. If it isn't actually dollars and cents. There's some assistance there other ways. So please avail yourselves of that if you need the opportunity. So, okay, communications, what do we have?
We received the monthly reports of August from Income Tax, Street Department, and Fire Department.
Okay, any other communications? Seeing none, we'll call down the council, please.
Ely,
I will pass it this time. Thank you.
Godwin,
I will pass too.
Rogers,
Pass.
Schmidt,
Pass.
Whitaker,
Just want to encourage everybody to go to the splash pad dedication tomorrow night. It's going to be a great event, I think. I hope we get a nice turnout for that. People on the south end enjoy that park. So with that, I pass.
Baumgartner,
Yeah, a couple things. EUM Church and Radiant Church is doing a hurricane relief. They're taking donations up at the old Marsh building. They're trying to fill a couple semis, cleaning supplies, water, anything you could imagine. If your house was underwater, you would need to help, someone out. Just drop it off at the front door if there's no one there, and we'll get it put in the back. And then also, I like to say thanks to Ryan for coming up with this green and white Greenville Pride Day. I think everything in your life is driven by attitude, and having a good positive attitude and taking pride in your community is so big. So hopefully everyone read that story about the wave wagon, how that started and how that took a losing football team to a winning football team by just getting the town behind it and having pride in the community. So I think it's a good thing. So thank you, Ryan, for spearheading that up. I think it's pretty cool. I know you've been in touch with the school and doing some other stuff. So thanks. With that, I pass.
President Burkett,
Yeah, I would just like to take a moment to extend my congratulations and thank you to the Greenville Municipal Park Band. We attended the concert Sunday night, the end of the season. It was marvelous. You cannot believe the sound coming out of that group. And of course, they have subgroups, jazz bands and so forth that perform as well. They have performers, local and other talent from other communities that come in, and they just do an absolute marvelous job. I don't know of a Sunday night that the weather was bad this whole summer. Absolutely marvelous. And J.R. Price and Doug Albright, who I must say were former students of mine a long time ago. But those two gentlemen do a real bang up job for the community and for the band. And of course, all the members of the band from far and wide that come in in fact, they come in on Wednesday nights for rehearsal. They come in on Sunday nights for the performance, and they just do a marvelous job. And accolades were given by J.R. Price to Mr. Harless, who is associated with the Dark County Harness Horsemen's, I think, association. I may have that wrong, but he was instrumental in bringing the park band back to the grandstand on Thursday night of the big horse races, and everyone really, really enjoyed that. And it was quite nice that kind of brought things back to like it used to be almost several years ago. So thank you to them, and thank you to everyone who has helped with that, the park board, the city of Greenville, all the organizations that contribute to that. I think it's just absolutely marvelous and speaks a lot for our community. With that, I would pass and move that we rise to executive session for the purpose of discussing two items under 121.22 G1 under the Ohio Revised Code, which is personnel matters regarding COVID compensation, and number two, compensations. So do I have a motion.
So moved.
Oh, and I would like to include Kim Davis to be into the executive session as well, Deputy Auditor. Motion by Mr. Godwin. Call the roll, please.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yes.
Okay, we'll stand in short recess. Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen.